Because I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what I'm doing.
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what I'm doing.
Hi, Russell Lawrence. Appreciate you guys hopping in here.
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what I'm
Hi,
doing.
Russell Lawrence. Appreciate you guys hopping in here.
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what I'm
Hi,
doing.
Russell Lawrence. Appreciate you guys hopping in here.
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what
Hi,
I'm doing.
Russell Lawrence. Appreciate you guys hopping in here.
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what
Hi,
I'm doing.
Russell Lawrence. Appreciate you guys hopping in
The
here.
internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what
Hi,
I'm doing.
Russell Lawrence. Appreciate you guys hopping in here.
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what
Hi,
I'm doing.
Russell Lawrence. Appreciate you guys hopping in here.
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what
Hi,
I'm doing.
Russell Lawrence. Appreciate you guys hopping in here.
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what
Hi,
I'm doing.
Russell Lawrence. Appreciate you guys hopping in here.
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what
Hi,
I'm doing.
Russell Lawrence. Really have
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help very much either.
I really need to do this stuff more often so I know what I'm
Hi,
doing.
Russell Lawrence. Really have
The internet's been going in and out all day too, so that doesn't help. Granted, you're not a very... You're charming, but you're not a people person. You like to be a homebody.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, charming, but I'm not a people person. I beg to differ. Lots of people like me.
Not intended in that way. Charming is likable. Not a people person is someone who's more introverted.
But anyway, yeah, so I was just kind of thinking, if anybody happens to want to hop on here and just chit-chat real quick, I can send out a Zoom link, because as I'm trying to figure out the whole streaming process here, and I also wanted to record the audio so I could run it back for the actual episode to be posted. And although if I get too rambly and meandering, I'm not sure I'm going to want to do that. Let me know. I'll send you guys a link. DMs are open. Anybody that has the capacity to hop on this thing in any kind of effective manner probably already knows how to get a hold of me. Anywho's, it's... not really... Like I said, this was a very spur of the moment, like, hey, I should do a live stream tonight thing. It was not well thought out or well executed, apparently, but we're getting there. And again, if I want to do this on a more regular basis, I do need to get used to doing it. Yeah. All right, so I got my frames per second, key for analytics. Sorry, I'm just playing with the restream settings here real quick while I try and figure out what I'm doing. I feel like this is a massive letdown for you guys. Although when I look behind the curtain and see my wife is real, she does exist.
Hello.
And yeah, I really didn't have anything too specific laid out in terms of. I've been taking a break, trying to avoid social media the last, week or so.
Keep your blood pressure down.
Yeah, keep my blood pressure down. So I don't have a lot on my nerves at the moment. I don't really feel too ranty. I'm more like, and we haven't really gone anywhere, which has been kind of nice. We've been very much homebody in it for the last few days. So in terms of that, it's been nice. We sat around, did a whole lot of nothing for a couple of days. We have some projects here. I'm on vacation for the next few days, so that's a little fun fact. If anybody wants to do any kind of collabs or anything in the next until the 2nd, I'm available. I'll be busy, but I can make time to work around other people's schedules because I'm actually on vacation this week, technically. It won't be getting a lot of rest because we have a lot of things that need doing, and those shall be done. So that's cool. For anyone who may be watching either the replay on YouTube or I don't know what Twitter does with replays, and once again, I'm not calling it X, it's Twitter. So and I don't know how they handle their replays for their broadcast stuff, but the last time we tried doing a broadcast with a background thing, it was really a pain in the butt because we did not have the background, the green screen. I just had a little tiny one that I bought that was small enough just to like sit behind me, because I didn't really have a lot of intention of having someone else in the room or anything like that. But since Sean has decided to join me,
well, you asked me to.
Anyway, I offered. I didn't say you had to, but yeah. So we got I got a bigger green screen so we could actually have a full backdrop. I still have to get the clips organized better because I'm noticing now the corners are kind of curling in a little bit, but yeah, because last time it just wasn't big enough because it was like a 5x7 green screen, and now I got a 10x12, so should theoretically be big enough to actually have the green screen with the logo effect behind us or other backgrounds as I get more into this stuff. So that being said, since Russ and Lauren, I believe, are still in the chat, I think. I hope you guys had a lovely holiday. Hope everything was great. Saw some of the pictures on Facebook because my self-imposed social media blackout was mostly just Twitter because that's where I get most of the fuel for my irritation. Did see some pictures on Facebook. Looked lovely. Love the RTVS shirts. They're fantastic. And yeah, so let's see. I don't know. So, any thoughts on the closing of the year, Darylyn?
Well, not in my mind. I'm just basically trying to make it into the new year, happy and healthy, I guess. Well, we'll be optimistic. Hold it together. Driving or closing for the end of the year as well. No, just basically trying to stay alive atop the chaos amidst everything that is going on in the world today.
Well, this is some absolute quality broadcasting here. Neither one of us have much motivation or apparently any real thoughts on the matter. I do have some thoughts and some ranty, but it feels kind of weird to be doing that with someone else in the room. For what that's worth, ranty is all well and good when I'm ranting to myself into the mic for you guys, but it feels like it would be for me to just start going off on the couple of little things that are bothering me, or would just be, she already has to listen to this stuff during the day. So,
I can step out.
If you want. But ultimately, one of the things I was kind of ruminating on in the last few days, and again, that it kind of feeds into the whole, new year, new me stuff, and all the other silliness that's going to be coming up. And it's the focus on what people are. Yeah, they want to better their health. They want to better their standing in life. They want to make improvements to their own lot, their own situation, things like that. And I get it. I really do. I'm not necessarily thrilled with everything that's going on in my life. I'm working to better myself pretty much every day. And I'm doing it for purely selfish motivations because I do want to be around to see our grandkids. That's why I'm going to the gym every day. That's why I'm trying to eat better and more conscientiously and lose weight and get smaller and be healthier so I can be around. And that is a selfish motivation. And that's one of the reasons why it works and one of the reasons why I've managed to stick with it this long, because it is motivated by a selfish reason, which is just kind of human nature. I'm doing it for my own selfish reasons, and as such, I stick to it. But like I said, there is a deeper drive behind it. It's not just superficial shit. I'm not trying to get better because I care what somebody else thinks. I'm not trying to better myself because it's going to change other people's opinions of me, which is one of the things I notice with a lot of the people that do the like shallow, superficial motivation behind their New Year's resolutions and behind their attempts to better themselves and change themselves is it's based on an external influence. It's based on other people saying, you know, you don't look this way, or you don't sound this way, or you don't think this way, or you don't act this way, and I don't like that, so you need to change to accommodate me. And it's almost like a people-pleasing mentality, which I don't really get behind.
Oh, there's validation.
Yeah, external validation as opposed to an internal motivation. Very, very, you know, it's a small difference, but I think it's a significant one where having those kind of things going for you is a really good way to keep your drive focused, keep your shit together, more or less. And that is why that's why I think most people fail, if I'm being completely honest, because their motivation is external. Their drive is not something that is coming from within. So as soon as they stop having that external motivation, because nobody's going to sit there and kick you in the ass until you're all the way better, unless you're paying them to do it or something like that. I mean, if you hire a trainer or you hire somebody to keep you motivated, then yeah, they're going to stay on you. But if you're just going to please other people, as soon as the next thing comes along that holds their attention, they're no longer going to be there to motivate you, and you're going to fall off, and you're going to quit, and you're going to stop trying, because it's you're doing everything for the wrong reasons. And it's not, I'm not saying that's everybody, but by and wide, it's not even most people. But it's enough people that it's something that I think about sometimes.
Well, and basically, I would agree with you. I think that in today's society, it's mainly based on materialistics and instant gratification, validation. I mean, in order to feel worthy, you have to fit society, a certain profile that society sets for you. But generally, a lot of people are not happy fulfilling other people's profile of what they think their life should be. And I think that's why a lot of people are unhappy.
That's fair. I mean, way too many people. Let's see. Oh, hey, Kelsey. Kelsey and the husband are watching. Hi, Mr. Kelsey.
Hello.
And yeah, so welcome to the show. Just so you're aware, if I don't answer right away, there is a delay between like when we're talking and when you guys see things, so there will be a little bit of lag. I'm still figuring out the mechanics of this whole live streaming thing, so I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate you popping in to check things out. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Season's Greetings, Happy Yule, Solomon Somber Tet. I don't know what else. I mean, this is just the holiday season. That's why I don't get bent out of shape when people say Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or Feliz Navidad or Happy Holidays or whatever people want to go with, because there are so many different holidays around this time of year. So getting bent out of shape because somebody doesn't say your specific brand of holiday really kind of burns my ass. It's like, it's being very petty, very narrow-minded, very small-minded that you're going to sit there and get bent out of shape because somebody didn't identify with your specific holiday. So, but yes, that being said, I hope you're having a lovely end of the year. And thanks for hopping in. Appreciate the support.
Yes, thank you.
I wasn't trying to prompt you to say thank you. I just figured I was talking for the last 2 minutes straight, and you might want to get a word in edgewise.
Well, I'm sorry. Your cues are not clicking.
No, I'm not. Yes, we're working on this.
This is our first time.
Well, this is our first time doing this with just me and her. I can't even claim to be Shauna's first podcast appearance. She did do a couple things with Grace Taproom podcast. Yeah, they were her first. I'm just her husband. Well, actually, it's that's kind of on me because I didn't really prod her to hop in here and hop on the mic with me until more recently. So,
tell the truth.
I am telling the truth. I didn't make a point of being like, hey, you want to come do this here recording, woman? It was more like, no, this is Aaron's show. Not like in an egomaniacal way. It's just, this is where Aaron knows what he's doing, and I don't want to change things because we fear change.
Making me feel intrusive.
You're not intrusive. You're intrusive. I would have just closed the door while you were getting the drinks.
Very nice.
So, Yes. I'm sorry, I just completely derailed my own train of thought. This kind of gives you behind the scenes on the actual episodes I do, where I will derail my own train of thought 7 or 8 times. The only difference is right now I can't go back and restart over because this is live and you guys are seeing it raw and uncut. But yeah, so ultimately at this point we've got sorry, the little earbud things are falling. I gotta get another set of cans. I actually have them. I gotta go pick them up. Remind me to schedule that. I got a pair from the auction for like $5.
Okay, focus.
Sorry, yeah, my ADHD is kicking in apparently. Again, I apologize. It's kind of hard actually to stay on task with this. That's why I actually really I can't say I admire all streamers, but like podcasts who record live like this and they have their shit together and they have audience interaction and people listening while they're doing stuff and going in the chat and everything. I admire that. You guys do really neat things, and that's fantastic. And you know, and oops, I just popped that up there. That was an accident. Yeah, like I said at the start, I actually I'm not sure. I kind of screwed up the beginning of this. So we are actually doing this through a Zoom link, or a Zoom session, I should say. It's hosted locally, obviously, because there's not a second party in here. But we do have, and like I said, if anybody wants to hop in and say Merry New Year to the I Had to Say It audience, just like I said, shoot me a message. The socials are open and active, so I can be aware if you guys did want to see that. Well, I got 2 notifications here. Maybe somebody's trying to get a hold of me, and I'm ignoring them because I'm a jackass. Nope. Just people retweeting the tweet about the episode. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, so like I said, this is as the year's winding down. I probably should have been a little more on the stick about getting a final episode for the year done, because like there will not be another Tuesday between now and New Year's, so that pretty much puts a pin in that. Also, I wanted to do a actual New Year's Eve episode, which I don't think is going to happen. You know what? Do we have anything planned for New Year's?
I plan on staying in. I think my partying days are pretty much over.
Yeah, I think both of our partying days are pretty much over. But I'm thinking, nice little rib roast and some potatoes, and being in bed by 9:30 sounds fantastic to me. Yeah. And then and plus New Year's Eve is on a Sunday.
Well,
who the hell wants to party on a Sunday?
In our given area too, though. I mean, we live in a remote area where.
Well, it's not that remote. Let's be fair here. It's more rural,
yeah.
But it's being urbanized. It's being
up and coming.
I don't know.
It's rural. It's quiet enough to where there's not a lot of crime, but it's not in the boonies like we were used to. Yes, there is some of that. Every now and then you will catch the drift of cough syrup and burnt plastic.
Yeah. One of these
lovely.
days the house is going to blow up. It might be an accident. It might just be because they're got annoying. Okay. Kelsey just asked, do we ever do resolutions or a word to focus on for the new year? I'll let you field that one first, darling.
I generally don't do resolutions. I don't believe in setting myself up as, I would say, high hopes, I guess. I do believe that it's important for you to set goals for yourself in general in life every day. But I don't believe I must lose 50 pounds by such and such a date. I must do this. I must do that. I believe that it's almost setting yourself up for failure. I think that I like in turn like to reflect on what I have done what I have and what I'm grateful for, and just basically reflecting on the year. I mean, I'm alive, I'm happy, I'm healthy. I have a loving husband who we've been almost together going on, what is it, 18, 19 years now?
Been together for almost 20. It'll be our 18th anniversary in a couple months.
Yeah, it will be. And I have family that's alive that I care about and I love. My son's healthy. What more can you ask for? I mean, it can always get worse. I know it's a pessimistic attitude, but when you look at it as it is, I think that reflecting on what you did have and what you did accomplish, is not a bad thing.
Okay, that's fair. Now, yeah, I also am not really big on resolutions because I find most people who set a resolution tend to aim too big. They think in terms of these dramatic, life-changing events, and they got to jump in with both feet, or they're going to just be a failure. I years ago decided it'd be more efficient for me to set attainable goals rather than resolutions. Resolution is saying I'm going to do this or else I failed, whereas a goal is something you're going to work towards.
Steps.
So, yeah, and you take baby steps. And I used to make my goals too friggin' big too. And then I realized if I make smaller, more attainable goals, it's a lot easier to avoid getting discouraged because you're working towards something with a specific achievable thing in mind. And then you get that little dopamine hit when you accomplish said achievable thing, and you go from there to the next thing, to the next thing.
Building
next thing
confidence.
you know, you're at the end of the road where you've accomplished whatever your initial goal was. And, God, I sound like a Tony Robbins friggin' book or something here right now. But yeah, I have smaller teeth. But ultimately, it's more about an approach. Like I said, because resolutions just have all these connotations of this is something I have to change, and I'm not real big on adapting who I am to accommodate other people. As far as I'm concerned, my resolution is the rest of the world needs to accommodate me. I'm not really that person. I'm not that egomaniacal where I think the world needs to kiss my ass or anything like that. Maybe the world should kiss my ass because I'm pretty fucking amazing. But ultimately, I'm not that egomaniac where I think the world really needs to accommodate me. But I also don't think I need to accommodate the rest of the world. That's why I kind of keep everything on a case-by-case basis. How I treat a person is based on how they treat other people, how they treat me, how they treat themselves, even to a certain extent. Because if there are people that are being really hard on themselves, I'm more inclined to be a little harsher to them. Hey, Al Devlin's in the chat. Hi, Al Devlin. Thank you for hopping in. Appreciate you. Welcome to the stream. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Merry New Year. How you doing, bud? And anyway, so yeah, Al Devlin, this is Mrs. Aaron over here.
Hello.
So, yeah. Okay. I choose a word to focus on for all the same reasons you mentioned about resolutions. Like, word might be assertive, and she spends a year working towards being more assertive. That's good, Kelsey. That's a good way to approach it. Focusing on a word gives you a goal, gives you something to work towards. I like that. That's and assertive is good. You should be assertive. Good for you. Just you gotta be careful with that one because you gotta cross that line between assertive and me. And Grim's here too. Hey, Grim. So Grim's here too. Say hi.
Hello.
How are you guys doing? Did you have some good rounds playing whatever you guys were playing? I saw you were on the Discord earlier in the voice channel, but I didn't want to hop in because I was trying to get things figured out for this streaming, which I'm still kind of farting around with as we're doing this because reasons. Trying to figure out a little bit of the lag and all the other stuff going on with it, and yeah, we'll get there eventually. Is that what I look like? Jesus. I'm just kidding. I'm fully I'm fully aware that I look like a thumb with 5 o'clock shadow. So,
Speaking of being too hard on yourself.
No, I'm not serious. I'm purely self-debasing in the name of humor. I am, however, noticing that as I lean forward, I can see down my own shirt, which is, this show ain't for free, baby.
You checking yourself out.
Yes, I'm checking myself out. I got a nice rack.
You go.
That's right. Yay me. Okay, I just completely lost my train of thought again. Sorry.
We're talking about New Year's resolutions, goals.
New Year's
Why you
resolutions,
don't set them.
goals. Well, I do set goals. I don't make resolutions. There's a difference. But yeah. Oh, and yeah. So back to my original gripe that it's kind of funny. I went to the gym this morning with my buddy Nick, who wonderful guy, great human being, good dude generally overall. We went there to go as he likes to put it. We went to go work out really hard so we could then indulge in fat kid shit. Now, a little background: my buddy Nick is in very good shape right now. He's actually the big motivator that has kept me in the gym. Like, I've known him for 20 plus years. We went to culinary school together. Big dude. He's like 6'4", 6'5". Used to be a little on the stockier side. He was a football player. He played in Oklahoma, and he got really ripped a few years ago. Got really toned, and now he's my motivator. Where he likes to kick me in the slats every once in a while. So once we did, now that we've been going to the gym on a regular basis, the thing about that is Nick is still a foodie. Nick is still a chef, even though he's not one professionally anymore at this point. And he and I like our food, so every now and then we'll, not real often, every 3 or 4 months, we'll do fat kid shit. And by definition, fat kid shit is pretty much the same thing for us every time. There's a little cafe down the street from where we work out, and they have the best friggin' pancakes. So every 2 or 3, 3 or 4 months, every 3 or 4 months, we'll get it in our head that it's time to go do fat kid shit, and we will have a day of really, really, really going hard at the gym, and then burning off a whole shit ton of calories, so we can justify going to this restaurant and getting whatever the specialty pancake of the day happens to be, and usually like an egg white omelet with chicken or something in it too. So we get all proteined up and eat like half an order of pancakes. I have honestly never been able to finish a full sitting of this place's pancakes in one sitting. And if you get a stack, it's like seriously 6 or 7 pancakes. Now, what I do is I get the omelet, and then instead of toast, I substitute pancakes, and then for like an extra $2, I got to change it to the specialty pancakes. So today I had a strawberry cheesecake pancakes, which were friggin' phenomenal. Big, fluffy, soft, buttery milk pancakes with strawberry pie filling and chunks of New York style cheesecake mixed into the pancake batter. So as you were biting it, it had chunks of cheesecake in it, and then a sweet cream cheese icing in between the 2 pancakes, and it was amazing. And I ate about a third of it. I couldn't even come anywhere near finishing it, but oh, so good. And yeah, so that was my my day today. Was I went and did fat kid shit with my buddy Nick. But before we went and did fat kid shit, we burned off like 1,200 freaking calories. So it's about balance. Let's see. Kelsey says, how disappointed were you as a kid to learn that the ball drop was so anticlimactic? How about you, babe? How do you feel about the ball drop on New Year's Eve?
Well, the ball drop. As a kid, we were really not very interested as a child. My parents, they used to get together as adults, and they'd all have their countdowns, and they'd had to do the adult stuff upstairs. As children, on New Year's Eve, when we were children, we went downstairs, and mainly we would be running around our fool heads off until we basically passed out on a couch sooner or later, which usually resulted in somebody getting hurt or somebody,
Yeah, I don't know how
breaking
you survive
stuff.
this long. I've heard stories. My
Well,
mother-in-law has told me stories. I really don't know how she made it to the altar. She should have been dead when she was like 4.
well, granted, yeah, I was a tomboy. I generally.
Hey there, B-Word.
I-
B-Word has entered the chat. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
So, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, baby.
Oh, okay. No, just stating I was generally a tomboy. And our parents generally usually just turned us loose and let us go.
Yeah, Kelsey said she legit thought the ball was going to be thrown off the building and explode into fireworks. She was very disappointed. Grimm never watched it, doesn't care. Now, I'm of the Grimm category. I never watched it, didn't care either. Biggest thing for me on New Year's Eve was probably getting drunk, actually. That was from the time I was like
At 5?
17 until
Okay.
I got married. It was like, yeah, let's go get hammered. It's New Year's.
As
And,
we got older,
Yeah, but
I think
when
that
I was a
would- yeah.
kid, I really my parents, like, that was the one night of the year where they'd be like, hey, you guys want to stay up and watch the ball drop? And after like the first time, it was just like, okay,
What's the
it's New
big
Year's.
deal? Yeah.
and maybe it's just because I'm a little older, where like, yeah, my parents used to have like parties, I guess is the best way of putting it.
The
I don't-
adult parties.
They'd have-
and
yeah,
the-
they'd have the adult parties, and all the kids would come over, and it'd be a bunch of their friends,
And
kids,
your
who were
friends'
not
friends.
my friends.
cousins. Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of cousins, my dad's work friends, my mom's work friends, and a bunch of random ass kids that I'd see like twice a year. So it was
And then they'd say, "Okay, go play."
nice B word. That's lovely. He says, it's like women every time they have sex with me. There's a lot going on until we get there, then it's utter disappointment.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all about the build-up, buddy, and I'm sure they get the best 3-minute disappointment of their life. And, I'm not one to talk, so.
I'm going to plead the fifth on this.
That wasn't a no. I would like everyone to note that. It was not a no. You will understand when I pack all my shit and get thrown out. There was this is the fight that started that. This is going to be like, hey, guys, I'm coming to you live from the corner of Kedzie and 3rd Avenue because I'm now living in a migrant camp with all these lovely people from Guadalajara because Shauna threw me the fuck out. Yeah, I'm comment. See, that's one thing. My big ass head is actually between Shauna and the comment feed, so it's kind of like, that's why I've been reading everything back to her, just in case.
Yeah, I have very bad eyes. I can't see.
Yes, and she's also blind, which would explain why she married me. I mean, she didn't get her glasses, her prescription updated till after we got hitched. She put them on, and I was like, what the fuck? So,
Substance might be more important sometimes.
Sure. He's got a great personality.
Well, it's important to me.
The things this woman tells herself, I swear.
I'm giving you a compliment and you refuse
Yeah,
to take
I
it.
don't take compliments well. Once again, I have completely derailed my own train of thought. I don't know. I mean, there's so much going on that it's like it depends if you want to look into terms of things like there's all these. And Lisa enters the chat with, and he had a knife. Yes, that was. She was there when that happened. I'll have you know that. There was no surprises in that
Yeah,
situation.
we used to work together. That's
Yes,
how we met.
We met at work.
Yeah.
She gave me all kinds of crap for stabbing that guy too. So it's just,
Well, actually, as it goes, we all used to smoke back then, and we worked in a kitchen setting, banquet, and it was a culinary school. So we worked with a lot of culinary students. And hence being, every time as anybody who's waitressed or, anybody who's worked in the restaurant era knows, when you take smoke breaks, you get more breaks. So generally in a restaurant setting, people like to smoke because they get more breaks. But the day before, we were outside and we were all having a cigarette break, and we used to sit on milk crates outside the back door and smoke. I don't know if you want to tell the rest of this one because you're actually better at telling it than I am. But
well, they've heard me tell this story. That's why Lisa knows to say that I stabbed somebody.
Yeah, his friend.
Well, it was an accident.
Well, not the day before, it wasn't. Proceeded to back up and crop dust Aaron as he was sitting on a milk crate.
Oh no, he did that on purpose. I'm saying when I stabbed him, it was
yes,
an accident.
I'm creating the story. I'm explaining. Proceeded to crop dust him as he was smoking his cigarette. And
I was sitting on a milk crate at the time, so like my head was literally right at ass level for this guy.
And he thought it was pretty funny. So, which Aaron did not appreciate, and needless to say. And he told him the day before that if he did it again, he was going to stab him in the ass. Well, the next day comes, everybody's running around. We have like 2,000 people getting ready to hold a general holiday party, and
the fundraiser.
Oh, I'm sorry, the fundraiser for the school. So everybody's rushed and hurried and running around trying to get everything out on time and, make sure everything's ready to go. And in the process, Aaron is holding a knife, and his friend Jeff, whom he told the day before that he would stab in the ass, he's backing up towards him, getting food out of the hot box. And it just so happenly, Aaron tends to slip and fall backwards. And
well, no, it's because I was going through the bus tubs under the table looking for knives because the knife sharpening people were there.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was squatting down when I fell.
And stabbed him in the ass, which they cussed each other out and proceeded to go on their own ways.
And then Kyle made me take him to the hospital.
Well, after I'm in the restaurant area, our friend Jeff proceeds to walk by, and as he's walking by, I'm like, why is the back of your pants all red, Jeff? And he's like, oh, are they? Oh, shit, I'm bleeding. And he goes to the culinary chef, Kyle, we call him. He was a good friend of ours. And he tells him, I'm bleeding. And he proceeds to ask what happened, tells him,
Aaron stabbed me in the ass.
yeah, then he thought it was funny to go around telling everybody that Aaron stabbed him in the ass, and which they believed, and Aaron got wrote up for it because he told them the day before he was going to stab him in the ass for farting on him. And then
I never denied stabbing him. I denied it was intentional.
Well, as you took him to the hospital, this is the same guy who went and got a tattoo that says your name on his left butt cheek. Just so he could go around and have a conversation starter. While they're at the hospital, he proceeds to tell the nurse that he's afraid of needles and so forth. So take it with a grain of salt as you will. But yes, Aaron has stabbed somebody in the ass.
I've never denied it. But anyway.
I find it more amusing.
Yeah, I know you do. Everybody does. Okay, we've got a... we've got a question here from Brian. He says, when reflecting on this year, what was the best thing personally for you each? I'm meaning me and you. And the most memorable episode for moi. Episode could be my own or one I was a guest on. Okay. Well, what was the most... what was the best thing for you this year?
Best thing for me this year? Oh, that's a hard one. Wow. You want to come back to me? It's been a rough year. Let's just say
it's
that.
been an interesting year. Let's put it that way.
We had a fire this year. We've had
No, technically the fire was last year. It was in November.
I'm
so.
sorry. Well, we're still recovering from
Yes,
it.
we're still dealing with the stuff from the fire. I'd say the best thing that happened this year, personally, dropped down but since this time last year, I'm down like 30 pounds, so that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, I didn't get on the scale today because I didn't want to fucking know, but yeah, I'd say that's probably my best thing that happened this year is I got into a pair of pants that I haven't worn in like 6 years. That made me happy. That was the best thing that happened this year.
Well, I guess the best thing for me would be finding out that I'm cancer free.
Okay, that's a good thing.
That's good. Yeah.
That's good. And yeah, just a quick side note. Devlin, no, the stabby cannot write me up because the stabby did not have authority over me at work. That's why the boss is the one who wrote me up for stabbing the stabby. So yeah, that's it's just the way those things work. Now
Well,
let's
she
see.
wasn't your biggest fan either.
No, that Kyle's the one who had to write me up. Kyle was my biggest fan.
Yeah, but I thought he had to write you up because of Rowena.
Oh yeah, no. One of the slightly higher up people was the one that said, "Yeah, write Aaron up." So that was Does my wife know I got in those other pair of pants? Yeah, no, she was there because I was all surprised because I was like, "Hey, look, my pants are staying up without a belt on. I think I put the wrong pants on. What the fuck? Did I get?" I actually at first I was pissed off because I was like all stoked because I had been having to wear a belt a lot. And then it was like I put my pants on and I didn't have my belt on yet and they weren't falling off my ass. And I was like, fuck, don't tell me I put weight back on. Jesus Christ. And then I realized I was wearing a pair of pants. I grabbed the wrong pair of pants and I was wearing a pair of pants that I hadn't worn in a while. And then I was all stoked because now I fit in those pants.
You go running around the house. I dropped a pair of pants. I dropped a size.
Actually, it was more than 2 sizes. It was, let's see, 6 sizes.
Okay, well, high five.
Yay. You gotta remember, guys' pant sizes work different than girls' pant sizes. But,
Yeah.
Let's see. What else?
That's true.
Yeah, Kelsey said, hell yeah for you. And hell yeah for me. So, hell yeah for us. Again, now, let's see. Best episode. It's kind of hard to say. I am like Edna from The Incredibles. I don't think of the past. It detracts from the now. But probably most memorable episode for me this year would have been hopping on with Mike and Tabby from the Grace Tap Room for their 24-hour fundraiser deal. That was probably my most memorable, like, actual episode kind of thing. I mean, I had some pretty cool interactions. It was kind of a big deal, had the wife on with me, so that was cool.
It was pretty good. It was for a good cause, the Humane Society.
Yeah, and also she was, or I could also say the memorable one was the first time she podcasted with me with Mike and Tabby.
Remember, tell them the truth. The first time you asked me to.
Yes, it was the first time I asked her if she wanted to be involved. So,
Trying to make it seem like I'm trying to be all pushy here.
I didn't say you forced your way in or anything like that. I said it was the first time you were on the show, or the first time we recorded together. But anyway, yeah, because that was actually kind of fun because we kind of came in as a ringer because, as they said in the episode, the Gray's scheduled guest had to cancel for family reasons or whatever it was, and they were getting their Zoom call thing set up earlier in the day, and we happened to be talking to him because Mike messaged me like, "Hey, you got a minute? I want to test this out." And so I answered that, and they were like, and they said they might, need a ringer, and I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll come on." And then I was like, "Shauna, you want to come on?" And she was like, "Yeah, why not?" So that's how that went down. I think, right?
Yeah,
Sound about right?
sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were on our way into town to go grocery shopping, get the groceries, and
Daily chore, fighting the
fighting
traffics
the
of
idiots out there.
Walmart.
Yes, the quality entertainment people of Walmart. And since, I'm just that kind of guy, we do have to go to the Hood Walmart when we go to Walmart. Because if you ain't in the Hood Walmart, really, what's the point of going to Walmart?
It is
otherwise,
cheaper
you're
there
going
too.
to a place where people say Walmart, which I can't stand that shit. Let's see. You got a comment from Licha. The Luchador de Chicago. Sí. Un grande luchadores. Yeah. Actually, speaking of luchadors, funny side note. My buddy Nick, my workout buddy, my fat kid shit friend, like my dear friend, he used to be a wrestler, like semi-pro kind of deal. Walmart's. Yep, there it is. The Walmart's possessive Walmart's. We're going down to Walmart's.
Oh, we know all about that.
Yeah, that drives me nuts too.
Well, I also have family in very southern parts of rural Illinois, Tennessee, Kentucky.
Yeah. Okay, that is a great memory, B. Where that was fantastic. No, I think it was right around the start of this year. It might have been the end of last year when Spotify put out its recaps, but I feel like that was this year, because yeah, that feels right. We're rocking out the Ruskaya in a tiny car, looking like Mr. Incredible. Yeah, that could be pretty much any day of the week when I'm on my way to work. I'm really looking forward to being able to give Shauna her car back and get something I fit into.
They still make fun of you for getting in the car.
I take shit from my boss, from the CEO of the company. They're like, you really need to get a bigger car. I'm like, well, you really need to pay me more. Cars ain't free shit.
Company car? Mm.
Yeah, I've been pushing for a company car for the last 2 years. And one of the guys that works there comes in from Indiana, and he's like, if I don't go get a company car coming in from Indiana, why would you get a company car? You don't travel at all. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But I'm fucking awesome, and I deserve it.
No.
At which point he laughed and was just kind of like, okay.
Well, no. I mean, generally when we first bought it, I will give it very good on fuel. It is. The E85. That has
it's
saved
a great
us.
little car. It gets good mileage. It runs on E85. Even on the E85, which generally burns faster, I'm still getting like 27 miles per gallon.
Oh, yeah.
But
economically.
it doesn't change the fact that I got to rub the frame down with Crisco, and I'm pretty sure the driver's side door has stretch marks at this point. So...
Well, you had the Cadillac back then, and
yeah, when we bought this car, I had a Caddy, and I fit really well in a Cadillac. That is a car that is made for a guy built like me. Now, if I knew then what I know now, I never would have bought the fucker, but because
you did buy
Cadillacs break and they're expensive to fix.
Private owner, bad part of town. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez, that's terrible, B-word. He said he got pulled over driving a Fiat. And apparently it can actually go over the speed limit. Says he got out of the ticket because the cop laughed at him trying to get out of the car and asked if he had to grease the door. Yeah, I didn't assume you were going to make the mistake of buying one there, but I completely assumed that was a rental or something to that effect, a loaner. Last time I got a loaner from the mechanic, they actually gave me a Fusion.
That was actually not bad.
That was much more comfortable. It's only slightly bigger, gets pretty comparable mileage, but it's a sedan. I mean, it actually fit into it. The only thing that drove me nuts is it had that eco-drive bullshit where every time I came to a red light, it would turn the engine off. I hate that shit. That is so dumb. It took me literally the 2 days that I had the thing to figure out how to turn the fucking eco-drive off.
I tend to like the older cars, not very much on for the technology. I'd prefer, I'm not comfortable with a car that would be able to drive me where it wants to go instead of where I want to go.
Yeah, no, I'm not a
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. But without putting on my tinfoil hat too tight, that's coming too. That's what the government wants. They want cars that they can turn off if you're not doing what they want you to do, and it'll stop you from going places they don't want you to be.
It doesn't really make sense to me either. I mean,
No,
basically, there's not enough charging stations out for them yet anyway.
Yeah, no, we don't have the infrastructure to support all electric vehicles, not to mention they're terrible for the environment.
Well, yeah, the lithium battery is
lithium batteries,
horrible.
plus they actually cause more air pollution because the tires break down faster because of all the extra weight.
That's true, and
carbon emissions offset by the lack of burning fossil fuels are completely swallowed up by the rubber particles they leave in the air.
Well, also on the matter too, you can't go very far in them either. I mean, granted, there's no charging stations. You get stuck out in the middle of nowhere. What do you got to bring? You got to bring a gas generator with a batteryized charger in it. So, kind of defeats the point, in my opinion.
Batteryized.
Yeah, the battery, you plug it in, you charge the battery for the car. I think so. Yeah, I think I said it right. I don't know. You're the grammar police.
Yes, I am the grammar Nazi, as it were. I'm not afraid to throw that word around. I'm not afraid of being canceled for saying the N-word. Oh, wait, wrong N-word. Don't misinterpret that. Nobody clip that. No, but yeah, Lisa raises a very valid point. This says the electrical grid in Texas can't even sustain running the air conditioners or heaters in extreme weather. Add millions of electrical cars to that. Yeah, she's got a point.
I agree completely.
It
doesn't
is what
make
it
sense.
is, but yeah, no, it's dumb, and the agenda has nothing to do with the actual facts. So,
Nope, just more money. Somebody's getting their pockets lined.
yeah. Broadcast. I clicked something. I don't know what I did.
Oh, come on, Aaron.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's how we learn.
Yep. And then B-word agreed. Same with California. Yep. That's good old Gavin, lizard person.
Well, speaking
hair
of
pile,
California,
fuck stain.
I got into it. You know me. When I get into it, I'll get into it with somebody.
She can be very.
Yeah. I tend to avoid social media. Let's just put it that way because it raises my blood pressure as well. Yeah.
There's nothing unethical about lithium mines, Lisa. It's perfectly ethical to have toddlers out there swinging a pickaxe.
Oh, child labor laws. Ooh.
Ethics are subjective. I agree. We need nuclear fusion. That's actually the cleanest and safest mass production of electricity fuel
And sustainable,
we have right now.
actually.
It's much more bearable. And I not to be too that 70s shows, but man, we need that car that runs on water with a fiberglass engine, man.
And people laugh, but it's true. And what was it? 2013? I mean, was it another guy created another version of that, and then he suddenly miraculously is no longer to be heard from?
Well, no, there was a guy that got shot in one of those mass shootings that happened to just submit a patent for the hydrocell fuel booster system.
Yeah, I came across that. I was kind of thinking, that's a little strange, but yeah,
Of course, that could all be internet conspiracies too. We never know.
You don't know, but I mean, it seems it makes sense. I mean, if you go through it, it's kind of logical because they've had the Hoover Dam for one. I mean, hydropowering, it's been around for years.
Hydroelectric is it's not as practical as nuclear, but it's still better than all these like wind farms and all the other bullshit they're trying to put out there. Those things are terrible for the environment too.
Yeah, they are. Speaking of, we pass one when we travel.
Well, when we go south,
Yeah.
And I like that, Lisa. We need urine-powered vehicles. Long road trips, no problems. The Bucky. No, the Ford Bucky would have to be much cleaner than I imagine most of those things would manage to stay.
Oh,
I
family
miss
road
Buc-ee's.
trips. Speaking of one, we used to travel down for the holidays. I don't know if you ever went on road trips with your family when you were younger, but I did.
I've been all over the country in the back of a station wagon. It's,
Yeah, and my father is one who likes to take the back roads when we used to travel,
yes, he does.
and he doesn't like
Can
to
confirm.
stop. He prefers the scenic route, and
And
he doesn't.
firmly believes the strongest bladder determines the pit stops, not the weakest.
Exactly. So yes, we have learned to, as I so delicately will put it, pee standing up when you've had no other options. You find ways. and that might come in handy. You power your car with urine.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, actually. Yeah. I think we could probably find a way to work that into the hydrogen fuel thing.
It is water. Recycled.
Yeah. And I just accidentally Taco Bell this. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that'll come through on the audio on the stream. But yep, there it is. Yep. Let's see.
Anybody see any amazing Christmas light displays?
Let's see. Lisa says,
Recently?
my dad tried to take back roads while driving me to my wedding. Mom said no. Your mom's a smart lady in that case. That's not the day where you want to take the back roads.
We didn't get a choice. He knew the way. He didn't like to tell people the way, and he'd always take the back roads, and he'd take a different route every single time we went.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, my dad tends to have you drive now that he's older, so.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing because, like, the first couple times I went down to visit Shauna's dad's side of the family, those were like 6 hours.
6, 8, depending on
6 to
which
8
way you
hours,
went.
depending on which family members we were going to see. And that's when Alex was little, so it was us riding in their sedan, Shauna's parents in the front seat, and Shauna, Alex, and I in the back, and Alex sitting in between Shauna and I. And even when he was like 5, he was very lanky, long limbs, and just would not sit still. Like, I can't.
I
And he'd
have
be like,
no room.
I got no room, and he's elbowing both of us in the tit, and and that was a nightmare when it was, when that was that. And then it's somewhere along the line, Shauna's dad decided I should start doing the driving, and that went from being like a 6-hour drive to 3.5 to 4.
To Aaron doing 80, 90 down the highway.
Yeah,
when everybody was sleeping.
Especially when I did have that Cadillac, because that Cadillac it rode like a couch. So he didn't realize I was doing like 95 the whole friggin' way. Shauna would be in the back seat unconscious.
Yeah. Well, after you and dealing with Alex for a while, and you're talking
yeah.
about, you got no room.
And that's the thing with that big old boat. It was like the back seat. She could literally lay down, and there would be enough room. So
It was great for traveling.
yeah,
We had more room.
I do miss that car, even though the way it died made me mad that I bought it. But what can you do?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they can't relate to us. Are we that old where you don't generally do road trips anymore?
No, I'm pretty sure everybody that's in the chat right now can relate, and I'm pretty sure most of my regular listeners would probably be able to relate too.
That's good.
We're just common folk here. We're simple folk. Ain't none of us too fancy.
Yeah. But I was speaking of. I got into it with this lady on a line today, arguing with me, over politics. Let's just put it lightly.
Yeah.
And all I will say is that if you're going to argue with somebody, and you're going to lie on social media, make sure your name is not being able to be Googled. This woman proceeds to say that she has no way profited and has no interest in the given chaos benefiting her in any financial matter. But when her name is Googled, pulls up, she is a lawyer in San Francisco who is a known feminist and practices, what was it? I'm sorry.
I'm sure she doesn't define that as benefiting her in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, well, it was literally listed. I mean, you can benefit right now with everything that's going on. And I mean, benefiting, how would you not benefit? I mean, it's a real estate right now. You're trying to buy up land in the markets and housing. It hasn't crashed yet. I mean,
yeah, but there's a very real chance it will.
it's not there yet, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know.
A house in California is way too expensive. I would not feel comfortable paying that, to be honest with you.
Oh, no, you couldn't pay me to live in California. Fuck those people.
You don't get your money's worth, in my opinion.
Well, no, you don't get your money's worth. Plus,
I'm
fuck
cheap.
those people.
I'm cheap, and I don't know. Just if you just go and you haven't, if you just look at San Francisco and other said cities, they are. There's literally drug needles in the streets.
Yeah, and piles of poop.
Yes, you can literally have human feces in the street. Now, tell me how it's sanitary and how you can charge for that when your neighbor can
but
literally.
They still somehow think they're better than everybody else, which I never understood that one at friggin' all.
I don't know. It seems. Would you say moral lacking or manner lacking to me?
6 of 1.
Twice dozen.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure some stuff out here.
So, did you have anything happen this holiday that really ticked you off, I guess?
I was with you. If anything ticked me off, do you really want me talking about that?
I don't care.
Yeah, okay, here's what happened to me over the holiday. I was trying to play this video game, and somebody kept telling me that it was, I was being obnoxious because I wanted to play my video game instead of, like, letting them watch the same show we've watched 9 million times from the 90s.
It was supposed to be together time. I don't consider together time watching you play video games.
No, I didn't agree to together time. I'm supposed to be on vacation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's so you say.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to go with.
That's right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure I'll probably get dragged in the comments, but whatever. I'll live.
Yeah, this is fun, Aaron. Ooh, yeah. Yell at that, guy you just shot 27 times.
Well, whatever. I don't yell at the guys after I shoot them. I yell at them while I'm shooting at them.
Okay. Did you see that light display that won the Holiday Light Festival in Tinley this year?
No, I didn't.
They had a really good idea, I thought. They had like a donation box with a QR code where you could scan and donate.
What, help offset their electric bill?
No, it was for a charity, local charity. I thought that was a nice idea.
Well, yeah, that's a nice idea, I guess. You're going to do fundraising for local charities. That's a good way to do it.
You're gaining attention.
Let's see. B-Word says, "Hit my best rant of the year was the fat lady on the plane." Oh, that one's pretty fresh, really. That's a relatively new one.
I'm not familiar with that.
Well, that's because you don't listen to the show.
Oh, the fat lady on the plane. Okay.
No, I was talking about that lady who basically Southwest Airlines caved to this fat broad because she was trying to be a social media influencer, and she's a body positivity influencer who basically the airline caved and said, "Okay, you fat fuck, you can have 2 seats, and you don't have to pay for the second seat because even though you're taking up a half a goddamn row by yourself, you shouldn't have to pay more than anybody else, even though it costs more fuel, more space, and more air to get your big ass where you're going." And I don't agree with that because that's knuckling under to a very, very slim percentage of what should be the market base. And furthermore, it's encouraging fat fucks to be arrogant about being fat fucks instead of trying to do something about being fat fucks. And apparently I had B-word and tears at work. That's good. That's what I go for. That warms the cockles of my coal black heart.
I'm used
knowing
to
I
it.
could bring laughter to my friends. And also that just pissed, because like I said, the thing that I'm really hung up on is this fat bitch is now complaining about hotel hallways, saying they're not accommodating enough and the doors need to be opened more.
We all
no,
know.
you fuck. If you can't get through a 36-inch wide door, and some hotels actually have 42-inch wide doors.
Handicap accessible, yeah.
Yeah, they're whatchamacallit?
Wheelchairs.
ADA compliant.
Yeah.
They have to be compliant with the ADA Act, so they have to be able to get a wheelchair through them. So the doors are actually bigger than your standard house door. And this fat bitch is complaining that the doors are too small and the hallways aren't wide enough. How do they fit through the plane door? I'm guessing Crisco. I mean, I don't know. They sweat a lot, maybe. I mean...
And
the worst part is this girl's like 23 years old, and the bitch is like 1.5 me's. She's not gonna, because part of what I talked about in that episode, for those who hadn't heard it, is like in the last couple of months, 4 of these pro-obesity social media people. I hate the term influencers because I really don't think they're influencing anything. They're just out there enjoying the smell of their own fucking farts,
trying to get something for free.
Well, no, that's what influencers used to be. Now they're trying to change society to accept their fucking issues. But yeah, like 4 of these fucking land whales have all died from complications due to obesity in the last couple of months. And it's like, I think it's fucking hilarious personally. Because fuck them. And yeah, you want to say, okay, there's nothing wrong with my lifestyle, and it's okay that I eat 4,000 calories per meal, and I'm healthy, and I'm sexy, and I should be accepted, and I should be celebrated for being a fucking just walking fucking coronary waiting to happen. And then when they actually do vapor lock and their hearts give out and their fucking cholesterol, when your blood type is fucking margarine, there's a problem.
Well, I think it all comes back to the, basic need that, actions have consequences, and, that you can't eat whatever you want and, live a healthy lifestyle and live, basically. I mean, actions have consequences. These people want to try and
say, no, this is all social issues. This is not about not accepting me for who I am and not the way I am. It's like, no, you lazy fuck. The way you want to be accepted for is going to kill you. It's going to shorten your lifespan. It's going to make you live in pain. But they don't want to hear that because not being a big fat fuck is apparently harder than being a big fat fuck. And I'm saying that as a big fat fuck.
I mean, there's a difference between shaming and then there's a difference between, just basics.
I'm willing to accept people that are comfortable in their skin, but don't expect the rest of the world to indulge you when you make conscientious choices that make your life less comfortable. The world is not here to accommodate everyone else's little fucking problems. And if you want to, like I said, massively overindulge, the one guy, I not intentionally or anything, just kind of came up scrolling, and when I was doom scrolling on Instagram, found a video that went into a little bit deeper depth on the guy who was like a, pro-obesity. His whole thing on TikTok and Instagram and all that shit was just being a massive fucking eater. The guy went to 4 different drive-thrus to eat 4 different chicken sandwiches to compare the 4 different chicken sandwiches. Didn't take a taste, because part of my job is taste testing and comparing products. Not even
trying to be like a food critic or anything?
No, he's just a fat fuck that wanted people to like him and follow him and support him for eating. And this motherfucker, as a professional who has to taste and compare and evaluate food, which is what I am, yeah, sometimes I have to have 3 or 4 different brands of the same product, 3 or 4 different Italian sausages, 3 or 4 different Polishes, 3 or 4 different breaded chicken breasts, 3 or 4 different grilled pre-cooked chicken breasts. Depends on whatever the issue with whatever I'm testing at work that day happens to be. I don't eat a full chicken sandwich of each fucking sandwich and then decide which one I like better and do my review on which is the best chicken sandwich. No, I eat a bite of each one so I can, maybe 2 bites if I need to go back and compare something or if I'm trying to hash out the details. This big goofy fuck ate, like I said, literally 4,000 calories in one fucking meal or one sitting. I can't even really call it a meal. He was in this fucking car. And yeah, that may be a hot take for some people. That may be considered. If you're in a vehicle, it's not a fucking meal. Yes, you may be eating. Yes, you may be hungry. Yes, it may be lunchtime, whatever. Unless being in that vehicle is part of your job and you can't leave it, it doesn't fucking count. It's a sitting, not a meal. A meal is had in a seat at a table.
Yeah. People generally don't sit down to eat together anymore. Not to my knowledge.
Well, no, I mean we don't even.
Yeah.
Okay, so call me out on my hypocrite card. Yeah, most of the time we eat lunch or dinner or whatever in the living room. because our kitchen table is covered in other shit right now.
Well, we are currently under construction.
Yes, there are
as I said, we
several
had a fire.
home improvement projects going on right now that we had some leaks and flooding and but like everything that should be in the linen closet is either behind the green screen right now or piled up on the kitchen counter or kitchen table because we need the kitchen counter to prepare the food. The kitchen table is covered in shit, and we don't actually have a dining room, so.
Okay. Well, before when you were at work, I was at work, and then
Yeah, we never
hours
really
were
needed one.
screwy.
So.
Yeah. And then Al, when he got older, he was off doing his own thing. So
Yeah, he never really cared about like Al, there's food, and he'd be like, good for you.
he was always a picky eater too, though.
Yeah, there's something. Nothing makes you feel quite like a success as a chef when somebody talks to your kid. Like, hey, it's pretty cool. Your dad's a chef, huh? Meh.
Yeah,
What's he make that you like? Makes good pizza.
He was very blunt as a child, very, very honest and forthcoming.
Yeah, little asshole.
He still is.
Yeah, now he's a big asshole. There's a huge difference.
And he works at it now. With a nice grin while he's insulting you.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy, but
No, he's a good kid, but he has a dark sense of humor.
gee, I have no idea how he could have come by that.
Guilty.
Yes, it was all you.
Yeah. Well,
let's see. You got anything else you want to talk about? Enough random babbling?
nothing on my plate that it's pressing. Is there anything you want to talk about?
I don't know. Anybody that's happen to still be on YouTube, paying attention, have anything particularly you'd like us to touch on? I mean, I'm just looking. We've been going at this for about an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. So, I said, barring anybody wanting to hop in and chit chat or have something specific they'd like us to address, I think we might put a pin in this and say Happy New Year. Here's looking forward to all of us having a good year next year. Hopefully shit doesn't hit the fan too hard. Hopefully they don't trample on our rights and freedoms too hard. Hopefully shit doesn't go too sideways,
Stay safe, happy, and healthy.
Yep, safe, happy, and healthy. It's good words to focus on for the coming year. So we'll give it a few minutes for the lag to process here what I'm saying through to see if anybody has anything to say. Yeah, nobody's really watching on TikTok Twitter. Bird app. Not calling it X. Don't care. At least it says no.
I guess we're
Lisa
going.
is correct. All right, guys. Grim says, hopefully you all have a great holiday. I echo that sentiment completely. Again, nobody's on Twitter. So, yeah, I might have to rethink. Because as long as I'm going to stay on the Cheap Bastard streaming plan where I only get 2 platforms, I may have to dick around. So I might go back to streaming it on Twitch. But nobody follows me on Twitch either, so I don't really see it as being a huge difference. Let's see. Brian says, thanks for going live. Love seeing you. Hey, thanks for popping in, bud. Love the support. Appreciate it. We'll have to get together and sit down and have a bullshit session here soon. And that goes for everybody. Anybody ever wants to just get together, shoot the shit? Like I said an hour and some change ago, I'm on vacation for the next week. So if anybody wants to sit down and have a gab session or whatever, just let me know. I'd love to talk to you guys and see how things are going. No, I don't have an OnlyFans yet. I'm not quite that desperate. If the car breaks down, you never know. I mean, I might have to start
Selling pictures of your
selling
feet.
some feet pics or something like, watch a hobbit step on a cake.
A hobbit?
Lisa, nobody wants to see that. That's why we're going to stick to the feet pics, I think. I mean, I mean, actually, that might work. We could have people, put money in the tip jar for me to put clothes back on. They do naked people on Twitch now, but it has to be artistic nudes too. And Dev, I
We can do some black and whites.
ugh, nobody wants to see that. Yeah, but you don't actually have a camera on while you're doing it, so it doesn't count. You're just sticking to your chair, bud. Cake sitting videos would be solid. Yeah.
Do we have cake?
Yeah, we do. Foot videos without the nail clipped. Yeah, that's just what we need.
You hate feet anyway.
Yes, I do. I am not a foot aficionado. I am a, ew, get that little fucking monkey paw away from me.
You literally, if anything, you're like, eh.
I'm not that. Bitch. Why are you always trying to make me sound like an effeminate woman?
Because you do. He
I do
touch you
not.
with anybody just bumps you with a foot or something. You're like, ah.
That is such a load of shit.
Okay.
I don't go, ah.
Well, I'm on the other end of that, so I hear her.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
You keep trying to make me look like a bitch.
I didn't say that. You said that.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Kelsey. People have paid for much worse things. And like I said earlier, I do still got a pretty perky rack, so might be something to think about.
You're still checking yourself out, though. Yeah, there you go. We'll get you a water, bro.
You can go now.
Hey, you asked me to come on here with you, so.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Like I said, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Yeah, I guess. Bicker, it doesn't count. B-word, I'll send you a DM later. It'll just you and me, buddy. All right, and I guess for now, that's what we had to say.